My message tonight is based on the verse we just finished singing. And my understanding of that verse is that as God surrounds us, as Christ surrounds us, sometimes he's above, looking down, watching over us. Other times he's below, catching us when we fall, or behind us, helping us along, or in front of us, leading us. As I look back on my life, Christ has surrounded me my whole life. And what I'd like to do tonight is share with you a few examples of how it's very obvious that Christ was surrounding me when these events happened. And the first event is on the farm where I grew up in northeast Ohio. One summer day, we were baling hay. And I got caught in the baler and started through the baler. I was pulled out. Luckily, because I'd have been cut into pieces about that long. I know, looking back, Christ was surrounding me, or I wouldn't be here tonight talking to you. The second event happened when I was in the Army. When I was a young man in the Army, we were doing work in the field, training in the field. And it was in December, and a terrible snowstorm came up. And we weren't prepared for this kind of weather. Some of us got frostbitten toes, some of us got frostbitten fingers. I was one that got frostbitten toes. When we finally came in out of the field, the pain in my toes got worse. And one night it was so bad I couldn't sleep. And I hobbled down to the base chapel and went in and went up to the altar and got down on my knees. And I prayed, I said, Lord, please relieve me of this pain. And folks, it was instant. I mean instantly, the pain was gone. As I walked back to the barracks that night, I had no pain and never had any since. And my last example, when I graduated from high school, if somebody would have told me that I was going to be a teacher someday, I'd have looked at them and said, I'd like to know where you're getting your information. Because of all the careers I could have chosen, teaching was on the very bottom. Well, my life, like so many of yours, I'm sure, things happen. And that's another whole story. But suffice to say, I was very unhappy with what I was doing, living on the farm and working there. And I was praying and searching and trying to find what was I on this earth to do? What was I supposed to do with my life? One night, I was sitting at the living room table, and I don't even know how to explain it to you. I don't know whether Christ spoke to me or what happened, but a feeling came over me, and I've got the message that I was to go to college and be a teacher. Well, here I was, 11 years out of high school, did not take high school or college prep courses, and I was to go to college and be a teacher. I didn't know, could I even do college work? So I went to see my brother, my older brother, who was a Lutheran pastor. And, he'd been through college and 4 years of seminary, and I thought, he can give me some information here I need. So I asked him if he thought I could do college work. And he said, I don't think you can. I know you can. So I took those tests you have to take. I think it was called the ACT. Sound right? Anyhow, I think all of you know where I scored on that test. I was off the bottom of the page. So I wasn't supposed to make it in college. But I went anyhow. And I got my bachelor's and master's degree, and I taught geology, biology, and chemistry in a high school for 30 years. Now, as I look back on it, Christ was certainly surrounding me back then and led me to where I belonged, because that's what I was put on this earth to do, was teach. As I told you before, Christ has always surrounded me in my life, and I'm sure will continue to for the rest of my days on this earth. Amen.